The fire was now huge, completely blocking the entrance to this room. The juniors were forced to retreat by the hot temperature of the fire. The match right now has only 2 people left in the room. This is probably a life and death battle, guys. The juniors returned with a fire extinguisher in hand. But it seems like the fire is quite big. There need to be more vases. When this junior guy wants to take this vase away, then suddenly he was stopped by the second biggest brother of the organization. After that, this person immediately took action against his own juniors. He doesn't want the fire to be extinguished, he probably wants to usurp the throne. Brothers, what kind of boss is there? There will be juniors just like that. 5 years ago. It's been a while since Woozing stayed at the iron shop. The life of this couple is still extremely happy. Woozing is also extremely grateful to CHO HANGIL. This was also the time when he wanted to learn fighting from this friend of his. He wants to become strong like CHO HANGIL, and to personally retaliate against those who bullied me. If not, he himself will forever have to live in the feeling of failure, with a new best friend in the same situation. CHO HANGIL completely agreed with this, not at all defensive. He just needs to pay the fee. A pile of tteokbokki is enough. At this moment, the 2 friends had to face each other. The fire seemed to burn all the friendship and memories of the 2 people. This unhinged leader was extremely angry. Because this church is burned, take off your clothes to avoid the heat. Woozing picked up the knife. He was extremely confident that he was stronger than the person who taught him how to fight. The couple who were best friends from 5 years ago are now standing on opposite sides of the line, and their life and death match has begun. One of the 2 of them today. Someone will have to lie down. CHO HANGIL's injured leg and body will probably greatly affect the outcome of this battle. 2 people rushed at each other. The sound of knives flashing continuously. And the one who got hurt first was Woozing. Is it like him? Haven't warmed up yet. Right after that, it was CHO HANGIL's turn. 1-1, guys. Woozing's powerful kick was as fast as lightning. The kick hit him in the jaw, causing CHO HANGIL to drop the knife in his hand. Too dangerous. Take advantage of this opportunity. Woozing immediately rushed towards Zoan while lowering his center of gravity. Rushed forward and hugged this dirty leader's waist, causing him to be slammed into the cabinet behind him. And having also lost the knife, CHO HANGIL also took advantage. When he pinned Woozing down, it was a continuous stream of punches. But right after that, then this guy kicked me away. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a knife lying in the distance. After a moment of intimidation, then both immediately rushed forward to pick up the knife. And CHO HANGIL is the one at a disadvantage in this moment. He had a knife stuck in his chest by this guy Woozing. But CHO HANGIL was still extremely persistent, and even praised his friend for his progress and strength. But this degenerate friend doesn't care. His hand pushed the knife hard, injuring the boss of the HANGIL FAM family even more seriously. At this moment, CHO HANGIL is extremely regretful. Because I created this misguided monster with my own hands. He feels it is his responsibility to stop this evil thing. One hand pulled out and was still there, the other hand forcefully pulled the degenerate friend's head. Inside the fire. He wants to burn all those dirty, twisted, degenerate thoughts. In my friend's head, because we are friends. So I have to destroy you. At this time, the fire had spread, the whole church had burst into a huge fire. Burning down HEA KWANG's sinful dog nest. Why do these juniors still have fire extinguishers at this time? HEA KWANG's second eldest brother looked at the beauty of the fire, satisfied as he thought that his evil intention had been achieved. Woozing was also grilled until his ears were pale by CHO HANGIL. He swung his leg and kicked his best friend away. Woozing's face has now been destroyed. Looking as hideous as he was, he howled in pain. Guy CHO HANGIL. I will kill you. CHO HANGIL is too stingy at this point. The injury from earlier had taken away the last bit of his strength. His eyes have gradually faded into the fire. Relying on the strength of his will to support CHO HANGIL, he must definitely eliminate this evil fate. Woozing, after having his face burned, was completely angry, revealing the entire cruel nature of his personality. His blood boiled, he picked up the knife on the ground and rushed straight towards it. This friendship is probably about to end. I have no family. He. Everyone here is just like you. That's why we're together. You must be very lonely. No, I'm fine now. Why? You know. Because now I have a place to return to. Woozing crazy slashing his friend. However, Cho Hangil still stubbornly avoided it. A leg kick from Cho Hangil. Just a little shot and Cho Hangil could have ended this match. The sound of clashing knives still echoed continuously in the sea of fire. Danger. Cho Hangil's knife is made in China. So it was cracked. The two of them turned to competing internally. The knife moved closer and closer to Cho Hangil's neck. He quickly had to change direction, causing Woozing's reversal force to fall into space. A punch right in the mouth. After that, continuously throw kicks. However, this close friend of the devil almost completely avoided it all, and even took the opportunity to cut a knife into Cho Hangil's leg. The situation had become extremely dangerous. A knife fell hard, continuously stabbing into the abdomen of the boss of the HANGIL FAM family. Not caring about the life that is passing away. For HANGIL now. I pushed my head hard into this rude friend's face. Push him down. Extremely angry, twisting the knife in his hand. A pain that penetrates my soul. Made Cho Hangil cold all over. A large pool of blood appeared on my friend's face. Then, once again, this Woozing kicked me hard. This extremely fierce battle perhaps. Is it almost the end? Pretending to be a good person helping runaways doesn't accomplish anything. I will make you die in pain, you trash bastard. Perhaps this will be the last time. But the two rushed into each other. Perhaps, this is also the decisive moment of this battle. Perhaps, this will also be the end of the cruel destiny. The fire suddenly broke out. Light flashed. Immediately engulfed the two people. The girl was saved in time. Stay at the hospital. DAJUN hurriedly returned. At home, all members have received the news. The fire burns before DAJUN's eyes. This church is on fire. Where is Hangil? Impossible. Maybe something bad happened. DAJUN rushed straight into the fire. To look for my brother. Mr. Hangil. He screams. The fire is so big now. Everything collapsed right before DAJUN's eyes. He still hasn't been able to repay anything to the person he owed this debt to. Please don't let anything happen, Mr. Hangil. The younger siblings had also arrived outside this church at this time. The wind accidentally caused the fire to grow even bigger, until the day the firefighters were unable to extinguish this fateful fire. Suddenly it rained, causing the missile to weaken. Giving DAJUN the opportunity to rush straight inside. He shouted, Mr. Hangil. Hangil. Hey bro. Eventually, he also found his brother. At this time, Cho Hangil was exhausted and fainted. Mr. Hangil. Wake up, the little brother shook his older brother. Why are you lying here? Let me help you up. Brother. Why are you bleeding so much? We have to go to the hospital. We have to go. Quickly. You're losing too much blood. You. I don't need revenge anymore. I don't need things like that. So. Please don't leave me behind. Everything is blurry, HANGIL FAM's elder vaguely remembers. I'm still fighting with Woozing. Am I being treated by the medical team? The little brothers are also here. They look sad. Okay, I can see their eyes now. Who reminds me of myself, Songbin. Seeing his difficult, helpless situation after leaving home. Reminds me of my old self. Therefore, I could not turn a blind eye to him. When I saw his happy face. I think I would regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't take you away at that time. The person has become extremely trustworthy. The first time I met you. He looked so weak that it seemed like he could die at any moment. But you're more focused than anyone else, thanks to you. I no longer have to worry about HANGIL FAM. The most mature of all. Gaeong. A hard life since I was young forced me to grow up early. You have the look of someone carrying the burden of the whole world on their shoulders. My heart feels warmed when I see you can smile at your peers, who once caused a lot of trouble, Daeyup. There were times when I just wanted to punch him, because of your habit of causing trouble. But in some miraculous way, I still can't hate him. His ability to find trouble wherever he goes always makes me admire. But what's more surprising is that he now lives so seriously that he even forgets his previous self. How, you brought so much joy to everyone. It's sad that I can't spend time with you anymore. The one who always makes me worry, DAJUN. Your revenge. I really want to help you achieve that. But sorry. I don't think I can follow you anymore. I want to make sure you don't go down the same evil path as Shin Wuzong did. You were as thirsty for revenge and talented in fighting as he was. But the sentence is different from Shin Wuzong, because of what I see inside you. That's a nice guy. Thank you. Thank you everyone in this lonely life. You gave me a family. And thanks to you guys, I no longer feel alone in this dark world of mine. You guys are like 5 stars shine, even if I am reborn. After life. I hope that we will still be a family. The battle that day was over. With the passing of Mr. Hangil, and his death, it feels like I've lost everything in life. HEA KWANG also suffered heavy damage after the fire at the church, and then disappeared, thanks to the sacrifice of Mr. Hangil. This area has just found peace. Thanks to Hangil's sacrifice, we can also live in peace, even though the threat is still there, all thanks to Hangin. However, this is not what I want. And a few days later, where is DAJUN? That guy, I bet he's already gone out. A former member of HEA KWANG has been fertilized by someone. DAJUN right now it's like has turned into a different person. If I had stayed with Hangil that time, if only I was stronger to help. It is not possible to forgive all those bastards who caused Mr. Hangil's death. I must kill. This time suddenly, HEA KWANG's second big brother's name appeared. Do you want to destroy HEA KWANG? Inside an old factory, HEA KWANG's leader was howling in pain, after the fight at the church. He was also seriously injured. Even though he was seriously injured, this guy only cares about his organization. The church burned down, and the children who were taken advantage of also fled. HEA KWANG's resources have weakened, it seems it will take a long time for things to return to normal. Hangil, just because of trash like you, Mr. Kwang is now. This cruel leader, extremely crazy, he is determined to destroy the entire remaining HANGIL FAM family, because he thought it was a threat that would hinder him. Back to DAJUN. Seeing that it was another guy in HEA KWANG, he didn't care what he said at all. Just like that, madly rushing towards life and death, like a wounded wild animal. But it seems like this big brother didn't come to kill DAJUN. He just wanted to come and talk, pushing the axe hard into DAJUN's stomach. This name speaks of its purpose. But he wants HEA KWANG to disappear. He regretted that Cho Hangil could not complete his mission. DAJUN was extremely angry because this name has mentioned his brother. All this money and yet it says Hangil was killed by leader HEA KWANG. Set of HANGIL FAM, don't you guys intend to take revenge? He believes that the HANGIL FAM family is very strong but cannot win against HEA KWANG. Must gather a more powerful army than that to defeat Shin Wuzong. So he has to but wants to team up with the HANGIL FAM family. He broke up and wanted to help DAJUN up. And DAJUN's answer was, a ball of putrid phlegm lay in his hand. Shut up and go away. I have no intention of siding with a beast like you. This guy did not show anger at DAJUN's uncooperative action. He thought that DAJUN was too shocked after his brother's death. Throw back a name card. When you get stuck, call me. This guy left such a sentence and then left. For the next few days, DAJUN just lived in a daze. He still keeps the things Hangil left behind. All of these, they all remind him of his brother. He no longer wanted to stay. This stuffy place too, because of, holds so many memories of him. A rainy night. Maybe he has an intention. Want to leave this house. Red hair just stays in one place. Knew DAJUN was about to go out. Then he asked, where are you going when it's raining like this? You'll catch a cold. You idiot. There's somewhere I need to go, just for a moment. The redhead asked, does this youngest brother want me to go with him? But maybe he wants to go alone. The redhead seems insecure about this youngest brother. The eldest brother has passed away. Maybe it's him. I feel even more responsible for this family. Lost the eldest brother in the family. That is a huge loss for these younger siblings. Wandering alone on the street in the pouring rain, DAJUN thought he could meet Hangil. He had a dreamlike family life. It was the happiest thing in his life. Maybe that's also the reason that he who was. Take away that happiness again. As if to remind, he must do things that he has long forgotten. I want to tell God. I woke up. I will do it. Something I absolutely must do. If you run away from home, there is only one way, death, or joining HEA KWANG, choose. This dog. I have to do it myself. So that there is no more trash left. It can cause chaos in your life. So that no one can harm you. Or the people I love. I will punish you guys. DAJUN immediately took down all of these trash. When this boy thanks, DAJUN only cares about the answer. He didn't know if this boy wanted to join HEA KWANG. And he answered no. DAJUN dropped the bricks and left. Instead of HEA KWANG, can I follow you? The boy said. I just lost to them because I had more numbers. I'm not the type of person who likes to cause trouble. I can help you. He continued talking. Remember what the second oldest brother said. DAJUN wants to become stronger. So as not to lose anyone else. Must become stronger. Anyone, how strong. But those who touch him must kneel and beg for their lives. If you want to follow me, then prepare yourself mentally. Just like I thought, to survive in this garbage dump. From now on, in order to survive, I will control all the zones. I must kill it completely. 1 year later, at DAJUN's old school. It's another bullying scene just like part 1. The bully is still Lee Doyen. However, the person being bullied was another student. This guy still hasn't learned his lesson after the DAJUN incident. If this dog is sat on by someone else, you have to wag your tail to show happiness, right? This nerd. This team still hasn't changed, guys, torturing these brain robbers. It's true that if you were number 2 then no one would dare to accept number 1. The guy who recorded the video lifting his friend's balls. The ice cream fell in front of this student. And that guy Lee Doyen forced him to lick this ice cream. Watching this makes me remember the smoothie corner in section 1 guys. I have to say, it's amazing, guys. This student is also helpless and resigned like DAJUN before. Just show a little attitude and you'll be beaten up immediately. This guy pressed this student directly into the ice cream. If you're good, you can bark back. How dare a dog bark at its owner? What do you know? I have a guy exactly like you. Its name is DAJUN. I feel sorry for him because he has no friends, so every day I tell him and play with him. But one day, that bastard actually tried to kill me. Do you know what I did? I killed it. I said I buried him alive, dog. So if you want to live, behave properly. And then the student returned to his classroom. During class, he kept wondering whether he liked to study or not. Not at all. He just likes class. Because during class that is the time when he is most at peace. He wished it could continue like this forever, then even going to school for 10 years would be okay. He was hurt just like DAJUN before. If only this class would never end. But no. It's the bell. And the walnut guy. Follow me to the rooftop to play. Haha. That afternoon, people walking on the streets were extremely surprised and frightened. When I saw a teenager, holding an iron bar in his hand. And, behind is an uncountable bunch of thugs. This group of people are cold. Walked straight towards the school. That bully, Lee Doyen, is studying there. On the rooftop. Monkey collects peaches, used by Lee Doyen. This student was hit and his whole body went cold. 3. This guy seemed jealous of this student, because Lee Doyen had just finished checking the goods. He said that this student hid an anaconda in his pants, when this boy was holding his python in pain. This guy named Lee Doyen made an extremely excessive request. Take off your pants. This student couldn't believe his ears. They continued to pressure him. If you don't do it, when it's time for physical education, they'll do it for you. Perhaps this guy has already reached his limit. He thought, should I just jump over this railing, will it all be over? Seeing that this student did not answer, Lee Doyen rushed forward again. And give this guy a few resounding slaps, causing him to fall face down. This student felt his body tremble, and was unable to move. Immediately after that, there was a scene of slipping sandals into the schoolyard. Couldn't be more familiar. Done. We will return to class in time for class. As for this unfortunate student, he had to go pick up the slipper. Just left. He just lamented his fate. He was a waste. I don't have enough courage to kill those bastards. What does he wish? Someone came to rescue me. Out of this hell on earth. Suddenly. DAJUN appeared in front of him. Haven't seen DAJUN for a year now. He seems like he's changed too much, hasn't he? His youthful appearance as a student had completely disappeared, perhaps the hatred had turned him into something extremely cold and quiet. And he didn't come here alone, with a squad like this. Maybe DAJUN wants to sweep this entire school. Could this be considered revenge for the previous bullying? He picked up the slipper, returned the student and asked, "This slipper comes from over there. Is it right?" After that, he pulled the whole group straight into the school. The students saw a crowd heading straight into the hallway. Eyes, oh mouth. Stand flat on both sides. Students in class also had this problem, threatening to startle. There are some students, along with the teacher who also recognized DAJUN before, and was extremely surprised. Before this changed in him, at this time, Lee Doyen and his two friends were still continuing to brag on the rooftop, the guy Lee Doyen was complaining about. "I'm old now so I can't throw my sandals as far as before, and that brat should be grateful to him for not being harsh like he was with DAJUN before." While we were still planning to invite each other to have a few drinks, then suddenly the terrace door opened, countless silhouettes appeared in front of Lee Doyen. He was extremely surprised by DAJUN's appearance. "With this fruit, the bee is finished, guys." There were 3 juniors standing guard in front of the terrace door for DAJUN, this purple-haired bad boy, if you remember. He walked up to the tiger and reported to the weasel, said he would give these 3 people 5 seconds to disappear, then count to 5 and throw a punch. But it doesn't make any sense. This junior scornfully fought back, saying that DAJUN was handling business. "If you don't want to die then leave." This younger brother can only immediately put his tail between his legs and become human. Return to the terrace. Lee Doyen knew DAJUN came here because he wanted revenge on him. He's been so upset. "However, I still want to say, you almost killed me, I almost killed you too. Isn't that a draw?" DAJUN was cold and immediately gave this guy a stick in the muzzle, causing him to fall backwards. Look at the invisible face of DAJUN's light, along with the escort squad of juniors, crowded like this, came here just to solve myself. This Lee Doyen guy is already so annoying. Immediately, I knelt down in front of DAJUN and cried, "I'm really sorry." Since that day, I have always lived in torment and regret. After that, he said he was miserable about his leg and could no longer walk like normal. Finally, he pleaded, "Please forgive him this once." DAJUN didn't say anything, then looked coldly. "Then, drop the iron citadel in your hand. I thought my sins were forgiven." Unexpectedly, a resounding slap hit Lee Doyen in the face. After that, again, it's a slap in the face. "Your father has already apologized." "Dog!" Lee Doyen screamed. DAJUN threw another punch and broke this guy's face. Apparently, this is what he wanted to repay this guy, for bullying him before. Lee Doyen was so scared right now. Run away like a mourning dog. "So, was caught by one of DAJUN's juniors," he asked, "Mr. DAJUN. Or should I just drop this guy down there?" Lee Doyen at this point, his teeth and lips were mixed up. "Why don't you look so arrogant like you did when you bullied that student?" He stopped making noise because he thought that this guy really came here to kill him. Being scared to death is real, guys. Lee Doyen begged for his life while peeing profusely. The appearance looks even more miserable than the old DAJUN's own. When this younger brother saw this, he hated it and threw the name Lee Doyen in front of his boss. On the rooftop. At this time, there were also many students gathered around to watch. And it seemed like some students felt extremely happy at the tragic appearance of this bully. This guy continues to beg for his life. He said he was sorry because it was because of him that HANGIL had to die. Listening to the mention of my deceased brother, DAJUN is like a volcano, just waiting to erupt. Stepped right on Lee Doyen's snout and said, "Don't get me wrong, the person who killed Mr. HANGIL is the leader of HEA KWANG. Shin Wuzeng." After warning this guy Lee Doyen, "Next time don't let me see your face. If not, that will be your death anniversary." Then DAJUN and his juniors left school, leaving this guy behind who fainted, looking extremely miserable, before the worried eyes of his accomplices, living in an abandoned factory. A man's heroic scream rang out in the dark night. This man is being hung up and tortured because he owes money. He begged to pay soon and wanted to return to his daughter. HEA is the contract manager of HEA KWANG. He threatened that he would take this man's daughter to pay off his debt. After that, he continuously beat and scolded him severely. DAJUN is still alone at this time, leisurely walking around the neighborhood, like always. In his mind, he always remembered his brother. A year has passed, he is still burning inside himself, meaning of revenge against leader HEA KWANG. And it seemed as if DAJUN had come by accident. That factory right now inside, the man is still abused and tortured. He screamed, "Don't touch my daughter." After knowing that he couldn't get any more money, this ill-tact guy decided to turn him into HEA KWANG's organ processing department. Suddenly, a voice sounded like it had no emotion at all. Suddenly came from behind this HEA KWANG contract manager, "Found you, ill-tact of HEA KWANG." While this name was still surprising, then he immediately received a punch from DAJUN and his face cringed. Then it flew tens of meters away. Before the surprised eyes of my juniors. Wuzheng. Where is he? It seems like this leader has completely evaporated in the past year. A little bit about the journey of the name ill-tact in this book, guys. Previously, he was the school boss of NAUN. Everyone at that time respected him. However, since being bullied by DAJUN, his life has been completely turned upside down. Fell all the way to the bottom of society. And when he thought it was all over, then that person appeared. He can feel it. When I saw the leader of HEA KWANG. Surely this person is the one standing at the top of society. He also wanted to be like that, once again standing on top of an even higher mountain. So, he decided to work for this person and will slowly climb up. Everything seems to be going smoothly. Yet this name appeared again. This group of juniors did not yet know DAJUN's famous reputation, so they immediately rushed to surround him. This junior said, "Do you know who we are? Don't meddle in my business, go away. Before I beat you to a pulp." These guys, listening to DAJUN's threats, it doesn't matter, immediately carried his stick and rushed forward. DAJUN cast a teleportation image to avoid it. Punching a guy broke both his stick and his muzzle. Then he threw one away with his bare hands, accompanied by an extremely strong punch. A kick from the stick hit another guy's muzzle. DAJUN is like a tiger lost in a flock of sheep. Act coldly. That guy ill-tact has also woken up now. Immediately rushed forward, unleashed a kick. "Seeing you again, I'm very happy. How are you these days?" This guy sounds like he's laughing. He thought that after Johangi died, DAJUN would bury his body with him. But he didn't expect to meet him here, so he decided to give DAJUN a beating, to repay the previously lost feud. Because that time at HEA KWANG just now, he actually also became much stronger. This time, he will definitely have to repay the humiliation at that time. DAJUN coldly used one hand to block this guy's kick. After that, boom! An extremely strong punch of all the dipping sauce, into this guy's left side, causing him so much pain that he rolled his eyes and bowed his whole body. Ill-tact was extremely amazed by this power of DAJUN. Even though he is much stronger than before, he is still not this person's opponent. This guy's old disease of fearing his subordinates saying he was weak has relapsed. He was trembling, he never wanted to let old history repeat itself. Taking out a knife, he rushed forward frantically. DAJUN can easily avoid escaping this guy's attacks. Then he quickly used a wooden stick to block the knife. DAJUN doesn't care. Does this guy want revenge on me or not? The other hand locks the wrist. Then pressed him hard to the ground. Then immediately broke this guy's knuckles. Ill-tact howled in extreme pain, holding his broken arm, trembling and rolling on the ground. DAJUN only wants to know one thing. Shin Wuzheng. Where is he? This guy didn't understand why DAJUN wanted to find his leader. Then the arm was broken, was stomped on again by DAJUN. Him, screaming in pain again. Under the disdainful eyes of his juniors, this scene was extremely familiar to him, just like back then. He held the knife tightly in his hand, intending to stab DAJUN's leg hard. But unexpectedly, the knife was kicked away. DAJUN caught the knife. Then he stabbed this guy's hand hard, without the slightest hesitation. It was so painful, this guy screamed. DAJUN continued to threaten. If this guy doesn't say it, this will prevent him from ever having to walk again for the rest of his life. At this point, there's no need to return the humiliation anymore. This guy said he would give all the answers. He also didn't know where the leader was. DAJUN was extremely dissatisfied with this answer, as he was planning to stop this guy from having to leave. Then he quickly ran out of math. I hadn't finished speaking yet. He said someone knew the leader's whereabouts. Those are the big brothers of HEA KWANG, these people will definitely know. Especially that guy. Someone who is extremely close to Shin Wuzong. Cockroach Song Ho. This guy is doing bad things right now. He is threatening the two sisters. Good goods like this must sell for a very price. Song Ho said. He didn't just want to take the money, but I also want to marry this girl too. DAJUN recalls that this name has deceived his kindness before, and decided to go find this guy, to find a clue leading to the leader HEA KWANG. After revealing everything I know, Iltak asked DAJUN to forgive him. But this time, DAJUN continued to ask where that cockroach lived. Iltak, it seems he doesn't know either. He still tries to say that it's likely to be in the HEA KWANG district. The information this guy gives is absolutely not useful at all. That's why our DAJUN is extremely cold. Please ask for some blood pudding at this guy's feet. The punishment is so decisive, my brothers. After the matter was resolved, DAJUN walked out of the factory. I saw many of my brothers standing outside. It seems that after a year DAJUN has formed a gang, named DAJUN Gang. And this is the second oldest brother of the gang named Baek Dogium, 18 years old. When he knew his boss was alone, he rushed into the back of the enemy's grave. Then the DAJUN gang immediately came to support. But when they came, so this HEA KWANG doghouse has been made salad. DAJUN now has to be at the same level as CHO HANGIL in the past, and no more, bro. Baek Dogium asked DAJUN if he found Shin Wuzong's lair. DAJUN just shook his head and said, there's only one way to find it out, and that's through the big guys. But really, finding these big brothers is not easy. Even so, DAJUN is still very determined to find them. Especially this Song Ho cockroach. Saw his boss DAJUN's hand shaking. Baek Dogium came forward to encourage and said, you will definitely accompany DAJUN on this matter. After that, he immediately invited DAJUN to go drinking with the gang. But he refused. It turned out that from the time he formed the gang until now, DAJUN has never sat down to drink a glass with all his brothers. Communication with the band members will be handled by Baek Dogium alone. He was also very upset about this strange temper of the boss, but he had no choice but to give up. Living in an abandoned building, people nearby rumored that someone has entered this building, maybe some uncle, but no. This building became the headquarters of the DAJUN gang. This boy's name is Kim Yundong, 15 years old and the youngest member of the Jun gang, looks a lot like curly-haired Ha Songbin, right guys? This younger brother is washing dishes while his seniors are sleeping. Although life here is a bit cramped, it is sometimes quite inconvenient. Even when I went to the toilet, there were 4 to 5 guys standing outside urging me, causing the young man inside the toilet to cry out, it's because you guys kept urging me that he pushed me in. But it's still a lot better than wandering around outside. This young man sent Kim Yundong to make a bowl of ramen. However, this brother refused. Although he was a bit scared, he was protected by the law of this place which stipulated that no one can force others to work for them. Hearing this younger brother threaten to tell on DAJUN, this guy immediately became angry. The law here is proposed by DAJUN, and every member must obey. It's just like when DAJUN was still living under the roof of HANGIL FAM, so all members of the gang are runaways. This younger brother previously joined a motorbike gang for the first time. They tortured him and forced him to go pickpocketing and get money for them. For the boy, this place is hell. They see this boy as a place for them to vent their anger. After that, this boy ran away and lived on the streets. Both cold and starved. 1 week, when the cold winds were about to take his little life, then someone appeared. DAJUN has inherited almost completely the will of CHO HANGIL. He gave his hand to save many lonely lives, and give them a warm home, something HEA KWANG took away from DAJUN. Seeing that the clock had struck 9 o'clock, as always, this boy brought a towel with protein for DAJUN. At this time, DAJUN was practicing on the rooftop. Her appearance has changed a lot, along with a large scar across her hip. It seems that in the past time, finding worms has gone through a lot. Although he did not want this boy to have to serve him, this younger brother was completely willing and wanted to do the little things within his ability to help this older brother. DAJUN asked him what life is like in this place. This boy seemed to really like it. And being grateful to this brother, DAJUN said, if the boy doesn't like it, he can leave at any time. This younger brother quickly waved his hand and said, although he is often teased by the brothers here, and had to sleep huddled in a spacious place, but now this place feels like my home, everyone is like family. DAJUN too. You are like my brother. DAJUN told the boy to go inside. Because it's so cold out here, every member of the gang wonders why their boss is so cold. Do not eat together, nor do activities with people even once. This guy is very worried about how long will the DAJUN gang last. This guy seems to have joined the DAJUN gang earlier. So knowing a little about his boss's coldness, he heard it before. The boss also had a family, but then he lost his brother whom he considered family. That's the reason why the boss doesn't open his heart to others anymore. When DAJUN was looking at an old photo of his family, then suddenly a junior was extremely urgent. Run to report that something is wrong. The youngest brother Yundong has disappeared. So this boy heard. Most of them are teenagers who have run away from home. We'll gather here, and who knows? He can find clues about the HEA KWANGs for his brother. The boy hid outside an alley, and secretly looked inside. I was extremely surprised to see that the boy's previous motorbike gang was here. But just clever. The gang leader then just returned and discovered the boy. He thought that this boy came back because he missed this uncle. Then he dragged the boy inside and beat him again, for escaping from their gang before. This guy promises that this time, we'll definitely treat the boy well. However, the boy immediately refused and said, I have already found a new family for myself. I won't join you guys again. I just heard this leader's name. Then felt extremely funny, he thought there would be no gang that would harbor a useless thing like this boy. According to him, life is all about giving and receiving, this boy is absolutely no help. He doubted that when the night came, those guys would wrestle with this boy. Those dirty words made this boy extremely angry and cursed. Shut up, dog. The name of this leader is also very surprising. Gosh. This puppy. How dare you bark in your master's face like that? So should we be punished or not? And then he tried to press the boy's face into the spinning wheel. The whirring sound coming from the wheel made the boy extremely scared. In the hour when we could face death, the boy thought about the leader's words, does DAJUN really need a useless person like me? I might just be a burden to him. He remembered the time when he was so hungry that he had to let DAJUN carry him, when he wondered why you helped me. Then this brother just smiled and said, it seems like you need help. It seemed like he would never see his brother again, when the boy heard his brother's voice ringing behind him. Get your hands off him immediately. When this leader still doesn't understand what's going on, DAJUN was quick as lightning to take action immediately. Let this guy kiss the ground. Teeth and lips mixed. Before the surprised eyes of his juniors, DAJUN told the boy to step back. Everything here will be over soon. Then DAJUN asked again, that's the motorbike cassette. What did you say before? Confirmed by this boy, DAJUN rolled up his sleeves. Decided to wipe out this entire gang. I only have DAJUN with these names so I don't care. The old man named second degree of the party only now showed his face to question the boy. Why would you want to follow a trash name like this? A junior immediately rushed forward. However, he was immediately put on the counting board. Continue to the second name. Eat one brick immediately. Evaporation afterwards. These guys really don't shed tears when they see the coffin. Still kept coming. After going through a few punches, I felt very confident. Then take a hit right away. DAJUN's powerful leg sweep. This guy had his leg broken and opened his mouth wide, screaming in pain. This old gangster's face has no light. Along with DAJUN's smelly shoes, he immediately surrendered. Surprise. This gang leader woke up. He immediately controlled the boy and threatened DAJUN. Because situation affects the baby's life. So DAJUN had to stop. Name Elder Ni saw the elder of his house. The situation was under control, then immediately rushed to attack. This leader was extremely proud and deliberately crushed the boy. Look closely at Yundong. That guy lost. It's all because of animals like you. While he was crowing happily, his face suddenly became deformed. The neck tattoo of the DAJUN gang suddenly appeared and unleashed a powerful attack. Saved my boss from a visible loss. After that, members of the DAJUN gang also appeared. Neck tattoo told DAJUN, just keep doing your part. And that's the name of this gang leader. Immediately received a powerful punch from DAJUN, causing this old man need to wrap his arms around him. He felt extremely familiar. It seemed like he had fought with this person before. In just a blink of an eye, this motorbike gang was immediately crushed by the DAJUN gang. On the way back home, this boy is extremely sad. Sorry DAJUN. And he thought, I'm really just causing more trouble and being a piece of shit. Always just a burden to everyone. This Englishman just gently replied, is it your father's burden? Kid. We are a family. Perhaps this is DAJUN's favor. That's what made him have so many brothers in the past year. The boy cried because he was touched. And know that I have a real family. DAJUN has lost 2 families. Surely we won't let it happen a third time. Returning home, he questioned DAJUN. Why did you go save the boy? This does not require you to personally appear. Just call the younger brothers to solve the problem, it's okay. Then this guy complains about DAJUN always preferring to act alone, and if DAJUN gets caught, his revenge plan on Shin Wuzong will be over. And act like a leader. DAJUN just said, hasn't this been said before? I'm not the leader. When he still wanted to blame DAJUN, then suddenly a junior ran up to announce that something big had happened. Because some crazy guy was causing chaos on the first floor. And it seems like this guy came looking for DAJUN. Tattoo Neck told this junior to send more people, then this guy said that that person was extremely powerful, we were absolutely not his opponents. At this time on the first floor, someone was attacking the juniors and shouting questions. Where's DAJUN? Call DAJUN to come here to me. Neck tattoo with DAJUN this time appears. This guy is still complaining about how DAJUN likes to show off. He said he would handle this case. I saw someone coming to cause trouble. DAJUN was extremely surprised. Because this person is no one else but an acquaintance. HANGIL FAM's red-haired Dae-yup. Over the past year, it seems like his hair has gotten shorter. See, it's DAJUN. The red hair immediately rushed forward. Grab his shoulder. It seemed like it would be a passionate hug. But no. Please help me, the red hair seemed to be in an extremely urgent situation. Unexpectedly. Red hair reported that Kim Taek is in trouble. He was taken by the HEA KWANGs. This is also the reason why the red hair just came to cause trouble. Because the situation is already very tense right now. The story must be told. Time a year ago. After the eldest brother Cho Hangil was no more. Hangil FAM family members decided to break up. Each one goes his own way. Maybe it's because of fear of that HEA KWANG crime. Will revenge come? The red hair said that at that time he did not pay attention to Kim Taek's anger. Long hair rushed straight into HEA KWANG's lair alone. And then it fails. Then he was arrested at Incheon port. That's where these HEA KWANG guys secretly take foreigners, in other words, these guys are human traffickers. Kim Taek was now in a tattered state. And got tied up. The redhead knew that tonight would be the day the smuggler ship would leave. And if we can't find them, Kim Taek is finished. The redhead knows this is extremely difficult. But we still have to do it, because we are a family. Gang members at this moment also voiced their support. We'll help with this case, because they think it's the boss's business. It's also my story. And we are also a family. The members seemed to immediately follow DAJUN to handle this matter. Then suddenly, the old tattooist said, this matter cannot be simple. Because the HEA KWANGs are no longer the same group of teenage bushrangers as before. But they have joined many small groups to increase their power. HEA KWANG has now leveled up to become a famous criminal gang. The tattooed neck continued to say, look at us again. At most, there will be about 30 homeless kids. If you keep trying to deal with this problem, you will almost fail 100%. Neck tattoo also analyzed more information that the red hair gave. Who knows, maybe it's just a trap. DAJUN said I completely understand this. But he had to go. Neck tattoo reminds DAJUN to think carefully. The old family has long since disappeared. The past is forever just the past. As for the current you, there are only us. You decide. It seems like the tattoo forced DAJUN to make a choice. And right after that, The red hair along with DAJUN immediately set out. Because go save Kim Taek, that's what he. No need to think twice. It seems like CO seems to be at a loss for words with his boss. But if DAJUN doesn't save Kim Taek, one day he will abandon this whole family. That's the difference between DAJUN and Shin Wuzong, the leader of HEA KWANG. At this time, the two of them took an entire train ride straight to Incheon port. The redhead said earlier in such a hurry that he forgot to mention that I'm so happy to see you again. And DAJUN changed so much. The red-haired girl almost didn't notice it on this dusty, windy day, all over the pot. And even the leader of a gang of street kids. What happened in the end? The redhead wondered. DAJUN was silent for a moment, then began to tell the story. After leaving HANGIL FAM, he wandered everywhere without being able to sleep a day. Originally, DAJUN had only one goal, which was to take revenge on his bullies. However, after HANGIL's departure, he no longer wanted to take revenge on his bullies. Because the enemy right now, is only one. He wants to avenge HANGIL. Even though DAJUN always wanted to immediately find that Shin Wuzong to risk his life, but he knew he was too weak to do that right now. So I went crazy into training and fighting like crazy. It's like there's nothing left to lose. Regardless of whether the opponent is weak or strong. Regardless of how many names they have. Days passed like that, there was never a day that his hands were not stained with blood. I will definitely take revenge. DAJUN said coldly. Red Hair said, that's why DAJUN created this gang. In fact, that was not DAJUN's original purpose, it was just that the people he saved automatically followed him. And revenge on HEA KWANG became the goal of the DAJUN gang. That since DAJUN met this Baek Dogyeom. It seems that this person also shares a grudge with DAJUN. That night at Incheon harbor, Kim Taek was tied up and tortured by the HEA KWANGs. This guy sarcastically said to Kim Taek, I really didn't expect that HANGIL FAM would one day be as miserable as a dog. And the cockroach Song Ho appeared again. Kim Taek, even though he was injured all over his body, he still roared with anger. I swear I will kill you all. This fury of long hair is even more dangerous than DAJUN. This cockroach didn't take Kim Taek's actual words seriously. Itchy feet then stepped on Kim Taek's wound. He just revealed some interesting news, then it turns out this guy was the one who dropped the bait, spreading the news that Kim Taek had been arrested. Let the other members of HANGIL FAM come to this place to rescue them. Here, they went to ToNotDie Vong to capture all of them. At this time, in a nearby forest, Red Hair appeared promptly. And immediately took down one. The other guy saw that and quickly reported back. There is an intruder. Immediately received a punch from DAJUN. The redhead now discovered it. 2 freight cars have light inside. So we suspect that they locked Kim Taek here. The two decided to rescue Long Hair right now. Without even knowing it. The trap set by the cockroach Song Ho. DAJUN threatened a junior and got a bit of information. When human trafficking transactions are conducted, they will gather at the edge of the port. But at the current detention place, the guard is so strict, it's hard for 2 people to break in. The number of people was so large that even Red Hair was unexpected. While the redhead was thinking of other measures because he thought it was impossible to attack directly. Then DAJUN said that if it was this amount, he could handle it. The red-haired girl opened her eyes, thinking she heard wrong. But after that, DAJUN also thought that he should find another way, because living straight could put Kim Taek in danger. When Red Hair still has a headache because it doesn't know what to do. Then DAJUN said he had thought of a way. At the same time, staying in a container near the dock, there was a man and woman crying and begging. Then these 2 people were brought here by their teacher, then left behind. This young man asked to be released and promised that he would not say a word. But those were HEA KWANG's human traffickers, so how could they let them go? When he was about to hit someone, his accomplice reminded him, you can't hit him in the face. If he let his face get scratched, the big brothers would blame him, and this guy would instead punch this young man in the stomach. Suddenly, the head of human trafficking of HEA KWANG appeared, and hit his junior in the head, a reminder not to let the goods be damaged. The younger brothers reasoned that they just wanted to teach this guy a little. Then the guy in charge immediately quoted the price, 570,000 won for the stomach, the pancreas is the same price, the bile is 1,003,000, the intestines are 2,008,000, and the heart is 130 million. I still see you guys torturing HEA KWANG's gold pieces. Then don't blame me. This younger brother was scared and immediately promised that he would not dare to do it again. While the guy in charge ordered his juniors to bring the goods onto the ship. Then suddenly DAJUN appeared and snatched his cigarette away. Then he gave him a full kick to the ground. Take advantage while the junior is still bewildered. The red hair also dealt with them quickly. This couple was extremely lucky to escape and thanked DAJUN. When these two juniors are arguing with each other, should I sell my kidney to get the gloss name? Then suddenly a big fire broke out. All the juniors here immediately packed up and left. To set the fire because he was afraid of being scolded by his big brother. That's why the guard force at this location has been reduced. This is DAJUN's plan to move east and strike west. 2 people burned a motorbike, staying at the place where the couple had just been rescued earlier, to attract the attention of HEA KWANG. After we went to put out the fire, the 2 quickly sneaked inside the warehouse, where they detained Kim Taek. There will be a few more guys staying to guard. However, the 2 of them will try to fight quickly, before the fire extinguishers return. At this time, there were only about 5 or 6 juniors inside. Finally, the 2 of them found Kim Taek in this warehouse. Seeing my brother looking so pitiful like this, DAJUN gets angry. Immediately rushing forward with the red hair were just a few juniors. The 2 simply punched and kicked Chui's shoulders. Then these juniors was lying flat. Rest in place. Everything went quite smoothly. 2 people came to help and tried to wake Kim Taek up. Saw DAJUN coming with red hair. Although still weak, Kim Taek had to immediately warn his 2 younger brothers about the trap that the cockroach Song Ho had set. But now it's too late. This name has brought with it a large number of juniors. Walking in from the door, a junior locked the door. DAJUN and the red hair also did not expect that. I might get caught in a trap. The situation at this point is already quite dangerous. Cockroach Song Ho walked out very happily and said, "Already here? These 2 stupid little fish. Long time no see. Mr. DAJUN." He was extremely pleased when he plotted to use Kim Taek as bait, luring 2 big fish of the HANGIL FAM family. Long time no see. DAJUN lately looks like a piece of junk. Probably since HANGIL died, you have lived a very hard life. Is that true? But honestly, seeing you alive like this, I'm so upset. Why don't you just die? As soon as this Song Ho cockroach showed its face, it was already dirty. Then immediately, ordered his juniors to rush forward. You want to cut, you want to kill at will. Because of these names. Will not surrender. A junior boy who didn't know whether to live or die was still the vanguard who rushed forward. Immediately received a powerful punch from DAJUN, causing him to faint. Fall away up to 10 meters. Insensibility. Are you upset because we're still alive? It's amazing. Unexpectedly, there was a time when I felt the same as you. DAJUN said. Even though there was an exemplary name. However, those juniors were still not afraid of death and rushed forward. And as a result, this guy bumped into the other guy and fell down. It's like DAJUN is bowling. Red hair also took the opportunity to deal with a few guys. But always pay attention to DAJUN. Actually, he didn't expect it either. DAJUN has changed so much. This junior is quite impatient because it's almost time for the transaction and the matter still hasn't been resolved. Here, Cockroach Song Ho also felt sorry, because it is impossible to continue confiding in old friends. He left the job here to his juniors. Fortunately, the red hair was fighting while observing the surrounding situation. Discovered that HEA KWANG was trying to take Kim Taek away. Song Ho cockroach. Order your subordinates to take people away. Didn't forget to annoy June, saying, customers have arrived, if we do business, we must be reputable. Haha. DAJUN was extremely angry and cursed, are you doing business? You motherfuckers. Then immediately Lao came. He is determined not to lose anyone again. But he was surrounded by HEA KWANG juniors. Cockroach Song Ho ordered his subordinates to try to hold off these 2 guys until he returned. Although DAJUN has tried extremely hard. However, when he rushed to the door, he was suddenly attacked by someone. A very tall Dukan, dressed quite shabbily, appeared outside the door. This guy is also a big brother of the HEA KWANG band. When the juniors sensed the newcomer, they seemed happy and think that the HANGIL FAM will be ready to eat. The redhead is still wondering, what pot did this guy eat to get so tall? Then immediately rushed to attack. But there was no effect at all. Because this guy's arm is too long. One hand in pocket. Use the other hand to strike. He actually fertilized red hair with onions. The juniors saw their big brother winning immediately crowed, the HANGIL FAM group has no taste. This big brother's attitude is also extremely contemptuous. He heard that the HANGIL FAM group is very strong and can defeat the big brothers. Now I see it turns out to be just like that. While the redhead still doesn't know how to handle this, DAJUN rushed forward. Scared red hair warned DAJUN about the danger of this boss. Seeing someone rushing towards him, this big brother looked depressed because life was unmatched, putting his hands in his pockets. He laughed at DAJUN, with such a short arm span. Haven't finished the sentence yet. Immediately received a hook punch to the jaw. This big brother was extremely surprised because of this. But I only think that this stupid guy just got lucky. Then he threw another punch. However, this time he was hit in the jaw on the other side. It can be seen that DAJUN lowered his center of gravity, circumvented the punch and threw the attack. Then he punched this big brother's left cheek hard. This big brother seems like he can't eat enough. DAJUN didn't have much time to get involved, so he just dodged the attack. As soon as he flew in, he threw an extremely strong kick, kicking this big brother's mouth open. Do you guys see this trick or not? Red hair was now completely surprised. Because of my youngest brother. He's already outing this big brother. After being arrested, this big brother admitted that there was a wolf mixed in with the flock of sheep. So there's only one way left. All of you come forward for me. The juniors received the order and rushed forward like moths. But it's just like shrimp, constantly being evaporated by DAJUN. When DAJUN was vulnerable, this big brother immediately attacked. DAJUN's plan to destroy the enemy in a short period of time could not be carried out. At this time, the juniors rushed to surround him. This big brother wants to use the chariot battle strategy to drain DAJUN's strength, until this person is exhausted. Then he will rush in to end the match. When this guy was still proud, present your plan. Suddenly, he was grabbed by the neck by the red hair. Throw it hard. The redhead shouted, there's no time, DAJUN. DAJUN, leave this to me. DAJUN gritted his teeth thinking. Then immediately rushed towards the door. The juniors wanted to chase, but there was no time left. The red hair quickly closed the door, then stood there, risking his life to defend himself here. If you want to stop someone, you have to step over my corpse first. This big brother was extremely angry because he had lost the wolf. Ordered his juniors to skin the red hair. Right now at the edge of the harbor. It seemed like the sale was about to happen. This name is Wei Jiangkan, which is China's human trafficking broker. When he saw the goods, his eyes lit up, his face was delicious, and his body was so strong, right? Cockroach Song Ho was extremely pleased, and affirmed the quality of HEA KWANG's goods, and moreover, there was no worry of being investigated. Because these guys are a bunch of drifters, no one will go looking for them. When this guy is asking the customer to see the transaction money, then suddenly a junior guy flew over and lay down. DAJUN at this time came chasing, his face dark. He shouted, you guys stop. Today, Kim TK, if you lose a hair, then I swear I'll rip out the intestines of all you dogs. This customer, extremely upset about this incident, questioned them to see if their business was not reputable. This guy immediately trembled with anger. He said, this is not an outsider meddling. Which is our new product. Right now in the DAJUN gang's base city, little Yundong is extremely worried about his older brother. However, she still decided not to help her go to the market. Because he believes that DAJUN does not care about the safety of the group at all, and is not worthy of being the leader of the Jun gang. And the main thing is that this has nothing to do with the DAJUN gang. Why do we have to rush into danger to help outsiders? While Yundong was still upset about this, suddenly the phone rang. Baek Dogyam pulled out his phone to look. Then I was extremely surprised. Then I was extremely surprised. Return to Incheon Harbor. The cockroach brother Song Ho also did not expect that DAJUN could escape the warehouse. He said, "Why don't you just run away? Are you coming out here to find death?" After that, he turned to tell the trafficker to wait a moment, so that I can prepare this product. This old man, he lit up when he saw DAJUN. Carefully instruct Song Ho to be a little gentler. This cockroach said he admitted that DAJUN's body is really beautiful like this, it must be sold for a very good price. Then he threw the coat aside. I brag that I have gotten stronger recently. He also admitted that DAJUN was different from before, but he thought that I am a natural talent in fighting. This junior of the trafficker took advantage of it to gossip, expressing doubts about Song Ho's ability. The trafficker proudly recounted that his business partner before working with HEA KWANG is also a very famous name in the area. With just one of his fists, this guy defeated many opponents, but later, that person was defeated by a 17-year-old boy, and that boy was Moon Song Ho cockroach. When the juniors heard the story, they were half convinced and half skeptical. The trafficker just smiled faintly and said, "I've been dealing with the Jianhu for many years, but this is the first time I've seen it. This seemingly normal young man, yet it can bring fear to many gangs. Be afraid to turn pale." This old man continued to flatter his partner, judging him to have a first-class natural fighting talent. It's thanks to this guy. But his business in recent times has been quite favorable. When this old man was triumphantly thinking, this young man will have immeasurable fortune in the future. Then immediately, boom, DAJUN immediately hit the cockroach Song Ho right in the stomach. Before the surprised eyes of the old human trafficker. With my juniors. The juniors offered to help their big brother. But with a natural talent like the Song Ho cockroach, how can you handle it? Must continue to rush forward, I will become the big brother. It's because of this fist. But right after that, he received a kick from DAJUN. Even though we were able to counterattack a bit, we were still defeated by DAJUN. Fertilize onions continuously. The old human trafficker's face is as pale as a bottle's ass now. I really don't understand where this taciturn guy came from, and can nurture such a natural talent. The cockroach Song Ho has now had his fill of attacks but still doesn't understand why. You're not the only one with natural talent. DAJUN just said a simple sentence. The cockroach brother felt like he couldn't fight back. Showing his deceitful face again. He just admitted defeat. DAJUN knows this guy is definitely planning on doing some dirty tricks. Moon Sung-go admits that DAJUN understands him. And so is he. Later, he informed DAJUN that the red hair has been caught by them. And from now on, if only DAJUN Lee Doyen would dare to retaliate, then they will destroy Red Speed with Kim Taek. This is too difficult, DAJUN doesn't know what to do. The old trafficker waited too long, and was about to give his opinion when Song Ho cursed him. It's best for him to hold his snout. This sad person angrily thought to himself, "Mom, does this guy really have no respect for the elderly? DAJUN cannot resist. So I can only passively endure this guy's attacks." The cockroach was extremely pleased to receive a good beating. Both beating and crowing loudly. He cursed DAJUN, "This ragged dog. Your end will be the same as that idiot Cho Hangil. Dare to curse your brother is not enough." DAJUN squeezed this guy's fist and said, "Last time. What I practice is not just my body." Cockroach Song Ho doesn't understand what the hell he hears. At the warehouse, this big brother ordered his juniors to break a few of the red hare's ribs. Just when that iron rod was about to hit the red hare's head. Pop, the neck tattoo suddenly appeared, launching a powerful kick. Made this big brother very surprised. The redhead also didn't expect that. I was saved by this person. It turns out that at that time, DAJUN texted me to tattoo her. It turns out that at that time, DAJUN texted her, meaning she had found Moon Sung-go. And this is entirely the work of the DAJUN gang. So, he ordered the whole gang to go and support. Sung-go's juniors were also screaming. Because of the appearance of a group of strangers. What the fuck again? Sung-go was starting to get impatient. This younger brother went to inform DAJUN. Mr. Dogium ran to save the red-haired man. As for these troubles, just leave them to us. I just need to deal with that son of a bitch. Sung-go was also extremely surprised that DAJUN had his own gang. While I was talking in vain, DAJUN's fist was already in front of me. Cockroach Sungo now realized that something was wrong. It seems that DAJUN is more than just that. Come to save Kim Taek. That bastard DAJUN seems like he wants to crush HEA KWANG. At the warehouse at this time, the two gangs have already started fighting each other. Some people punch, others kick, others play sticks. A junior guy was about to rush over and take advantage of the red-haired bull. But no. Yundong appeared and swung a stick at this guy's head. Small but mighty, guys. Redhead expressed her gratitude for the DAJUN gang's help. Dogium is currently being attacked by HEA KWANG's big brother. Red hair looks worried. But my younger brother Yundong just smiled and said, he is also the big brother of my band. Hearing his younger brother praise him like that, Dogium immediately gave this big brother HEA KWANG a kick. Consider it a meeting gift, then cursed this boss's way of hitting like a woman. Cursing him for being a half-assed guy, this big brother was cursed and immediately roared angrily, you motherfucker. I will tear off your talkative muzzle, then rushed forward to attack again. Back to the cockroach, Moon Sungo. Seeing DAJUN, he created a gang. He thought that perhaps DAJUN really wanted to deal with HEA KWANG, just because he killed that son of a bitch for HANGIL. DAJUN blocked this guy's kick. He coldly admitted, yes. This is the reason. I will kill all of you HEA KWANGs. Sungo absolutely despises this stupid idea of DAJUN, because he thinks that HEA KWANG is no longer the same as before. Think the water up vigorously, cover DAJUN's vision, take advantage of the opportunity to rush forward and throw a kick. However, this trivial game has no point. DAJUN now questioned this name. Why did you betray me before? Whereas he was actually, consider this guy like a younger brother. Sungo heard that. Then his whole body trembled. He rubbed his head and smiled like his younger brother before and said, because this makes me happy. When he was young, this guy really liked to bully his classmates. Therefore, I am often reminded by teachers and parents. He felt extremely bored, because that thing really made him feel very happy. While violence is extremely glorified in movies, as well as in comics. When he is at HEA KWANG, no one forbids him from doing this. He no longer needs to watch movies or comic books to satisfy his nature. He can do anything he wants. This answer made DAJUN extremely unhappy about his younger brother. Throw a hook punch. Right in the middle of Sungo's chin. This name is constantly being beaten by DAJUN. So I started to doubt myself. He really doesn't understand where the difference lies. The answer immediately went straight to Cockroach Sungo's snout. The difference comes from each of my fists. It's not. Use it to satisfy yourself like you. DAJUN said coldly. How? Are you still having fun? The cockroach brother has already measured the bricks, so how can he answer? Kim Taek was also rescued by his younger brothers. A younger brother ran to report. Over there. The HEA KWANGs have also been completely dealt with. It seems like everything is quite okay, right guys? DAJUN feels quite satisfied, because he caught this cockroach Sungo. Initial success in finding the leader Shin Wuzong. While looking for this guy's message log, Sungo didn't pretend to faint anymore but instead laughed at DAJUN. Do you think it's all over? Next, good luck. Do you see the boat in the distance heading towards this port? Guess who will be on that boat? A white shadow appeared in DAJUN's sight. That long hair. Scar on that left eye. What? He's here. Is he really here? Sungo said, HEA KWANG is much different now. Business has gone to sea. Mr. Wuzong has just returned from China. And HEA KWANG will gather all its forces at Incheon Harbor. And what does that mean? HEA KWANG juniors suddenly came out from everywhere. It's too much. The number is countless. Next were the roaring sounds of motorbikes racing to the meeting point. Kong Wusik, a big guy pretending to be a model student at school, is leading his juniors and rushing in his car. The two big brothers who were previously present in the battle with Cho Hangil also appeared. This bitch wondered, Sungo, the cockroach. Why didn't he pick me up? Promised that he would force a kiss on him in a moment. Fat big brother thinks this is a crime. Another boss is bored because of this task of having to concentrate. He lit a cigarette, and thought about running away, because no one would notice when it was this crowded. A shiny car with his juniors standing in line, another boss dressed very politely appeared. He ordered his subordinates to eliminate them. DAJUN was extremely surprised by this action of HEA KWANG. It seems like they had planned this scheme from the beginning. Baek Dogium was panicking and ran over. He screamed at DAJUN, "What are you doing standing there, this idiot? HEA KWANG has come from everywhere. We need to get you guys out now. When enemies meet, their eyes turn red, brothers. DAJUN, it's already like a volcano has begun to erupt, so why run away?" Dogium was in a hurry right now and opened it right in DAJUN's face. "Are you planning on letting your brothers die with you here? The boat is still moving slowly towards the shore. Long time no see." DAJUN. The HEA KWANG leader in a white suit smiled faintly and said. The first time he faced the enemy directly, the hot blood in DAJUN's body was like a fearless horse, gallantly rushing through his veins, his whole body trembled. The enemy is still approaching. Dogium is still screaming at DAJUN. However, it seems that he is living in a world of hate of his own. You're not the only one who wants revenge on the HEA KWANGs. However, we need to ensure everyone's safety first. This one sentence seemed to make DAJUN awaken from the drunkenness of blood and hatred. When Dogium is planning to send someone to his junior. Take away this stubborn old man. Then DAJUN leisurely said, "Let's go. Come back home. We got what we needed. And the work here is done. Hurry up everyone. We need to leave this place as fast as possible." Immediately, the whole group got into the car and drove away. Big motorcycles explode loudly, along with silhouettes of people rushing by in the night. DAJUN gang is so cool, guys. Before leaving, DAJUN even took the opportunity to glance sideways at the leader HEA KWANG's name. "The next time we meet again, I will ruin your life, son," DAJUN thought to himself. After that, the whole gang immediately rushed away into the night. Suddenly, up ahead, a huge dump truck appeared, just completely blocking the way back. Before the surprised eyes of the DAJUN gang, a junior discovered it from behind, and the HEA KWANG bastards had already covered it up. The situation right now is really too difficult. The big brothers also appeared along with the juniors. Surround all roads. It turned out that the truck driver was a boss. He pushed the door down and happily said, "Where are you going in such a hurry? Let's stay and talk, okay?" Seeing HEA KWANG subordinates in large numbers, is slowly approaching. These two DAJUN gang members thought, "Are we finished? In this difficult situation when people don't know what to do anymore." DAJUN stepped out of the car. He said, "There is no other way. We have to get through them. Leave the car now. We need to face the HEA KWANG. Everyone stick close, and follow me. Being cornered like this, you'll risk eating too much, but what can you do, brothers?" This big brother saw that there were only a few guys like that, but he still wanted to fight. He contemptuously ordered his juniors to rush to solve the problem. Both gangs were already rushing at each other. I was punching. He kicks. DAJUN still has that buff style. Punched a guy 10 meters away. This big brother was extremely happy when he saw such a spirited fight. He praised, "The kids nowadays are really fighting with spirit." Suddenly, he was attacked by a neck tattoo. A powerful rock was thrown out. However, this big brother was able to block it. "Wanna taste a little fighting spirit?" Rushed in again, throwing a punch. However, this big brother avoided it. He said, "When the big brothers talk, you should listen." He said, "When the big brothers talk, you should listen." Then he threw a powerful punch and hit Dogium in the jaw. This big brother was extremely pleased, lit a cigarette, and then gave a lecture about fighting and having passion. "And no matter what you do, HEA KWANG will crush you." Little Yundong now also realized the situation. Seems like it's not okay. Everyone was exhausted. And as the enemy soldiers ran out of soldiers, another one rushed up. It seemed like there was no way we could win this battle from the start. Suddenly, the Ben car's horn rang loudly. Dogium shouted loudly, "Everyone get in the car. This big brother's name is just silly." Turns out Dogium was just pretending to be beaten. After that, he quickly took the opportunity to steal this guy's car key. "I can borrow this, uncle." Dogium looked at this big brother and smile. Now seeing that there was a way to escape, DAJUN immediately ordered the whole gang to run straight in front of the dump truck. The whole group jumped up and clung tightly to the side of the car. This boss saw this and shouted, "Fuck you, I still have 53 months to pay for this car. Stop now. He rushed towards a slow-moving brother because he had to carry Kim Tek along. Then immediately received a powerful kick from DAJUN. Immediately had to back off, the car still had 53 months to pay in installments. Rushed away before the bewildered eyes of this big brother. He shouted, "I can't believe it. Why did you let them lose it?" The dump truck moved loudly, rushing out of the Incheon harbor area. Every member of the DAJUN gang was extremely happy. Because of the feeling of surviving the accident, I thought that this time my life was over. Suddenly, the sound of a motorcycle engine in the back roared. This group of juniors drove to chase. Do you think you can escape? How can the speed of a dump truck compare with this crowd of motorbikes? HEA KWANG floods have gradually narrowed the gap. DAJUN gang members once again fell into anxiety. When these guys were having fun, they were about to catch up. Then suddenly discovered that dump truck. Stop again. One guy thought we had one. The other guy felt like something wasn't right. And. Oh my god. What is this? A concrete pour on her car couldn't be more accurate. Immediately buried HEA KWANG's hounds in a sea of dirt. This made the DAJUN gang members extremely happy. Climb onto the tank. After that, they continued to leave. Everyone now felt much more secure. Fortunately, there is a handling phase that can be called a divine carry for the neck tattoo team. DAJUN was thoughtful again. Because today I met Shin Woo-sung, but I couldn't handle it. The whole group left in the joy of victory. Return to your base. Do-gyum expressed concern about how HEA KWANG would deal with the DAJUN gang and asked if DAJUN had any plans. After a moment of silence, DAJUN admitted, "Currently, our side strength is not the slightest bit strong. To fight against the HEA KWANG's revenge mission against Shin Woo-sung. Currently it is an impossible task. And for this situation, DAJUN believes that there is only one way, and that is to make the DAJUN gang become even stronger." After that, a light festival party of the DAJUN gang was held. Little Yundong was extremely looking forward to it and invited his older brother to attend. The band members were now fully gathered here, some flipping meat, some rolling vegetables, the sound of sizzling fat, along with the fragrant smell of grilled meat. Already makes my mouth water. Everyone still can't believe that they won a match against HEA KWANG. Some people were so moved that they wanted to cry, because they thought they would no longer have the chance to eat this delicious grilled meat. The grilled meat is amazing. It seems like DAJUN is also very nostalgic about this scene. Yundong Kid was talking while continuously folding up the meat to eat, wanting to invite his brother to have a piece, but DAJUN just smiled, and said that he would buy his brother more meat later. There are a few sentences where I thank Do-gyum, because thanks to Big Brother, we were able to eat barbecue today, and I wonder how you know how to drive that dump truck. Do-gyum said, his father used to be a driver, so he knows how to drive a little. Do-gyum noticed that DAJUN was just sitting around with everyone for a bit, without eating anything, then left again. So this guy went to the rooftop to sit. Thinking back to the moment when I faced the enemy, the anger inside me flared up again. It was so hard to find him. There's really no commitment. She knows her boss is really in the mood today. And in fact, so is he. But it seems like this guy is much more rational than DAJUN. Do-gyum said, today there is no other way because the number of enemies is too large. And it's clear that we can't fight back. But the important thing now is that we are in danger. Because sooner or later, then those HEA KWANG guys will come find us too. Staying at the warehouse at Incheon Port, at this time there was a small meeting of HEA KWANG big brothers taking place. We rarely get to meet each other, but some people play games, others put their feet up on the table in silence, not talking to each other at all. Sung-go suddenly appeared, kicked open the door. He was extremely angry about letting the HANGIL FAM run away. He shouted, "Damn it! Have you mobilized all the juniors yet? Are you still called big brothers? Why let them run away like that? You should keep your mouth shut." A powerful punch hit Sung-go's muzzle straight. "Who are you lying to in Din's face, kid? After you made that damn mess?" This big brother expressed his contempt for Sung-go. He thought that even a child would want to be a big brother. Then he took the opportunity to say a joke, the organization needs to be established except for those useless big brothers, and are no longer relevant. The two senior leaders of the organization immediately became angry. What do you mean? Know who you are, you old man. Whoever let them run away should keep their mouth shut. I've been holding out on you all this time. Okay, jump in, son. Fuck you. Okay. Don't say I don't respect the elderly. The fat boss immediately rushed out, intending to throw a punch. While these two guys were about to fight, suddenly Shin Wuzong appeared. Wow! You guys are so friendly, aren't you? Did I destroy your improvised house? Seeing the leader appear, these two men immediately retracted their trunks and obediently returned to their seats. Sungo lies on the ground with his teeth bared. Leader HEA KWANG is extremely frustrated, summarizing today's defeat. Everything has become out of control. Kim Taek escaped, because of the HANGIL FAM, and disappear right before our eyes. The juniors immediately made excuses. I think this happened too suddenly, or due to negligence in preparation. Wuzong just smiled and said, HANGIL FAM? It's been a long time since I heard this name again. Damn HANGIL. He left this damn test behind, even when dead. This big brother pretending to be a model student report back. If it were just the HANGIL FAM family, there would be no need to worry. Because it was on the dump truck they took earlier. There's one of their phones. The juniors have probably increased their positions at this time. And right nearby there is a building, maybe this is the base of the DAJUN gang. Our juniors are now dressed up and ready to attack. No matter how far they run, as long as they stay within HEA KWANG's territory, then we will have them in the palm of our hand. And maybe now. The juniors are already rushing in. Back to the barbecue DAJUN with neck tattoo back to the party. The juniors had now rushed in and were coming up from the stairs. Little Yundong is still very enthusiastic about making a neck tattoo of a piece of grilled meat wrapped in vegetables. Oh my god, so spirity, who stuffed the chili inside? Dogium screamed because his younger siblings were playing tricks on him. At this time, Equin's juniors had already arrived at the door. They immediately rushed in. It seemed like DAJUN had discovered something. A junior kicked in the door and shouted, "They're in here, kill them all." However, the scene in front of them surprised everyone. There was no one left in this room. What's left is just a mess, with the smell of grilled meat lingering in the air. After that, they spread out everywhere to search. However, what remained was an empty building. This junior pulled out his phone. Report back. ALO boss, all the hazelims are gone. Currently in a small forest outside the city. DAJUN appeared. He apologized for making the decision too suddenly, and thank everyone for trusting me. After a quick discussion on the rooftop, DAJUN has decided to leave immediately, because it is currently impossible to confront the HEA KWANGs. So the only way is, go where they can't find us. It's a city, named Gangbuk, located quite far from the HEA KWANG flood area. This is the city right in front of me. We will have a new beginning here. It took a year for HEA KWANG to develop into what it is now. We will also increase our strength here in Gangbuk. However, we must be faster than them. After the entire DAJUN gang decided to go to the city of Gangbuk to develop. Little Yundong is extremely excited about this move. It's been a long time since DAJUN gang members have been in such a nice place like this. Although this is just a budget inn. But to the DAJUN gang members, this place is no different than a 5-star hotel compared to the unfinished apartment building before. Dogium calculates that, it is possible to temporarily stay in this place with the accumulated part-time money of the previous DAJUN gang members. After listening, DAJUN just said yes. He bowed his head, as if he was having something to say. Dogium saw that and asked, "Are you still thinking about that?" It turns out, before the DAJUN gang moved to a new place, DAJUN also talked about this with his two brothers. He planned to invite them to come with us. Live together like before. Is it possible? Kim Taek just smiled and said, "I have to admit that the time when we were still living together was so much fun." And he himself had to admit that it was. Always dreaming of the day when everyone can go back to living like before. However, with this suggestion from DAJUN, Kim Taek can only say sorry. Hearing his brother say that, DAJUN just said, "I understand. Surely everyone will be at peace, right?" That was DAJUN's thoughts when he set foot in this new land. Dogium also said that. I really don't understand what those people think. After a sad day, the gang then decided to go to rest early. DAJUN stood alone on the roof of a budget inn, while the juniors fell asleep. He silently said, I will definitely protect my younger siblings at any cost. But DAJUN really doesn't know how to start with this new land. Mr. Hangil, if it were you, what would you do? DAJUN has completely inherited this tolerant and loving will from his deceased brother. Looking at the magnificent city before him, DAJUN said, no matter what he does, the first thing is that his leg must be stiff, so he decided to go to sleep to get better. But while going down the stairs, suddenly a beautiful girl appeared. She ran over and hugged DAJUN, like an old lover she hadn't seen in a long time. While crying, she spoke tremblingly. Please, please, please save me. This ragged thing, a rough hand grabbed this girl's hair. Your mother. Did Dad let you go yet? A drunken and rude boss appeared behind the girl and spoke menacingly. It turned out that this girl was a prostitute, and was abused by this sick uncle. So she ran out into the hallway and met DAJUN. Here, he even cursed a certain Kim department head for not knowing how to teach his Dao girls how to behave well. Then this old man raised his hand, probably intending to slap this girl. Frightened and humiliated, the girl screamed. Seeing this, DAJUN quietly grabbed this ungrateful uncle's arm. Shut up, don't make noise in Tao's younger siblings sleep. DAJUN said coldly, who the hell are you? Don't worry about bronze. This insolent boss shouted. See this uncle making even more noise. DAJUN squeezed his hand hard, causing this uncle to scream in pain like a pig being pricked. Having tasted the bitter fruit, this uncle immediately asked for forgiveness. DAJUN just coldly said, go away now. Or do you want me to break your other arm? The old man lost his temper and cried, quickly hugged his arm, and ran away. The girl was now a little less scared and thanked DAJUN. Curiously looking at the person who had just saved her, the girl realized that this person seemed to still be in his teens. DAJUN reminds the girl that no matter what she's doing, it doesn't look like it's going very well and should stop. The girl heard that and seemed to have something on her mind, and then she was sad. And you said that. I have no other choice. She can't get out of this dirty job. A little hesitant, the girl asked DAJUN for help. Uncle Chu passed away just now, after being scared by DAJUN. Then he took out the phone and cried to a certain Kim department manager, saying that he had just been punched in the face by that Dao's lover. He threatened that he would make a big deal out of this, to get revenge. Sure enough, the Kim department head said, I'll immediately send a hot girl over to make up for it. Extremely angry with the escaped Peach, the head of the Kim department told the Peaches to stay in the car. Then I got out of the car to look for it. In front of a small convenience store. The girl was eating like she had never eaten before. She had to work without food for 2 days. Then she told DAJUN the story. I was sold to a group of thugs. This surprised him very much. It turned out that this girl had a terrible father, who only knew how to drink alcohol all day, and then tortured her. Not only that, this man was so addicted to gambling that he had to sell his daughter to pay off his debt. They also wore a tracking device on the girl's hand. So running away is impossible, and even if you can run away, there's nowhere to go. She cried and trembled, begging Sun to help her. Even though this girl is extremely pitiful, but DAJUN can't help her, because he also has to take care of a group of juniors. So, can't control the world's affairs. Ah! This ragged bitch dares to eat delicious food alone. Head of Department Kim suddenly appeared behind her. He grabbed the girl by the neck and said that this girl was in heat. Want to find a guy? Then he turned to DAJUN and said, you've already eaten this, so hurry up and vomit the money. Head of Department Kim pushed the girl to the ground. Then I told DAJUN the price was $150 per use. Seeing this name keep staring at me, Department Head Kim cried again. Then punched DAJUN straight in the face. I lied to you. You beast. DAJUN grabbed Manager Kim's fist, then turned to tell the girl. He did it like this. Just because this jerk jumped up and hit him first. Not because I want to save you. Chief Kim was about to swing his fist with his other arm. Then DAJUN gave him a very strong punch. Thrown up to 10 meters away. The girl was extremely surprised at the strength of this teenage boy. Is it true that you said 151? So it's cheap, if compared to your hospital fees. DAJUN raised his fist and rolled his eyes at Department Head Kim. After being punched, this guy crawled up, then began to intend to use his power to threaten. But shut up, DAJUN doesn't even care. Threaten. Impossible. Department Head Kim rushed forward to sell his life. Some of this guy's crappy vomio dishes. I can only bully girls. DAJUN grabbed this guy's hand. Then leisurely get on the pillow and give him a blow. The department head immediately restrained himself and spat out. He quickly asked for forgiveness because he couldn't breathe before being hit on the knee just now. As he was fighting, there was no way he could stop. DAJUN hit this guy in the face with another blow. One hand still held tightly and did not release. DAJUN threw another punch that drained all the sauce, causing Chief Kim to breathe oxygen. If you want to ask for hospital fees, come back here. DAJUN left behind a sentence and left. The girl is extremely surprised. Suddenly, Hong was afraid to warn DAJUN. Because Chief Kim suddenly woke up, he used a chair to sneak attack. But simply rotate the pivot leg. Then he launched an extremely beautiful sweeping kick that knocked both the body and the chair away. The girl couldn't understand. As a teenager, he could knock down Chief Kim so easily. The girl spoke up again to thank DAJUN. However, he did not accept it. I'm not saying it to help you. Don't misunderstand. The girl really didn't know what to say to this younger brother. I can only remind him to be a little more careful. Because these guys are famous thugs. Surely they won't let this go easily. She felt guilty because of her, DAJUN got involved in this. When the girl was about to leave, then DAJUN threw a box of bandages. Then told the girl to take care of herself first. Looking at DAJUN's leaving back, the girl felt that this younger brother was really strange. In an old building. A man who loves life very much. He sang a song while pruning ornamental plants. This made him feel very comfortable. According to him, finding unnecessary branches and leaves and then discarding them is the process of creating a work of art. Then he smiled and asked the burly man behind him about his previous opinion. This burly man immediately said, "Yes, the director said the right thing, so I called the customers up to prepare for quality inspection." The girls' faces showed concern and fear. The sick old director came forward with scissors, saying he had to find some unnecessary branches and leaves and cut them off. It turned out this guy was Lee Myung-kwon, is a tycoon who runs a prostitution ring. He pointed at a girl with a pair of scissors and said she has a tight body. This girl's hair was too long, he thought it was a waste of shampoo, so he cut her hair off. A slightly chubby girl, he stuck a pair of scissors in her stomach, then said, "This horse-faced thing. How many kilograms do you weigh?" This girl trembled and said she weighed 54 kilograms. This old director determined that this girl was an unnecessary branch and leaf. Then he went straight in and gave her a shot. Then, he ordered the CHOI department head standing behind him to lock this girl up and starve her. Immediately the chubby girl was dragged away before the frightened eyes of the other girls. Listen here, things that aren't beautiful don't deserve to exist in this world. The old director threatened again. Suddenly he saw the girl DAJUN saved the night before. I found out that this girl is very old. He also put personal tape with cute pictures on his body. Manager CHOI walked over and said this girl was the new Dao, and while serving customers yesterday, she ran away. He caught her by tracking the tracking device attached to her hand. Listening to department manager CHOI reporting the incident, the old manager got mad. Kicked this girl's dumplings to pieces. The old man shouted that this tree was broken, then he repeatedly trampled on the girl for daring to run away. The old man thought that if the tree was not pruned carefully, it would cause other trees to fail as well. While he was raising the scissors, about to stab them down hard, head of department CHOI said, "There is another even more serious problem." Made the old director stop, manager CHOI reported, yesterday while going to catch this peach, Chief Kim was beaten and seriously injured by a stranger. The old director immediately asked who that person was. CHOI department head said he sent someone to investigate right away, and discovered DAJUN's group, which was a collection of teenage runaways. Never seen this group in this area before. Currently they are staying at Cheilbong Motel. The old director was extremely angry and said, "These runaway children are a bunch of pests. The CHOI department manager continued to ask for the director's opinion on his actions, but only heard him say, "Insects that harm ornamental plants must of course be destroyed." A small car immediately sent the group of juniors straight to the DAJUN gang's motel room. There are about 6 of them, fully furnished, and entered the inn. Then he threatened this get the room numbers of the minors. While the DAJUN gang was still sleeping soundly, the old director's subordinates were rushing straight towards him. We heard there were about 30 kids drifting away from home, but still disdainfully said, "These kids are just children who haven't opened their eyes yet. Just hit it a little and you'll be scared right away. Today we must let them know what the consequences will be when facing adults." While eagerly climbing the stairs, a guy's nose was suddenly punched and his nose bled and he fell backwards. Then he crushed 2 of his accomplices and fell face down. They angrily looked towards the top of the stairs. Little Yundong woke up now. "I didn't see my brother anywhere. I knew you would come, you fake adult uncles. It turns out DAJUN already knew that we were coming and blocked the stairs. Hurry up already. Don't let this brat have to make the first move." DAJUN coldly looked at them and said, "From this boy's body, an aura of authority appeared. Makes these fake adults afraid." Witnessing one of his accomplices lying down, that's when they feel the fear of suffocation. Even though they had an overwhelming advantage in terms of numbers, these guys. I was soon scared by DAJUN's aura. Fear caused their bodies to have natural reflexes. All actions will become clumsy and awkward. And that result was, DAJUN suddenly jumped up, launches an extremely powerful kick, causing it to land on its back onto the landing of the stairs. What the uncles said was right. I'm an 18-year-old kid, I don't even have an ID card. DAJUN punched this uncle straight in the jaw, and in just a moment, these 3 fake adult bosses were defeated. In the end, the rest of us could only use violence, holding up the spear. They thought that if they could just corner this kid in the stairs, they would be done. But no. With a high level of martial arts, DAJUN then grabbed the fence and jumped up, unleashed a single kick to defeat the 3 birds. "Looks like there's still a fake uncle left," DAJUN said, "better get up already." Seeing that his accomplices had been defeated, this uncle trembled like a leaf, hand out a small knife. After that, he crowed, "Dad will let you go Beetle to King of Hell to this son of a bitch." Then, he turned towards Inara DAJUN and slashed wildly. Looking at this uncle's humble martial arts fingers, DAJUN was depressed. "Take this guy's hand. Then hit him with an elbow right on the spot. Stupidity plus risk will kill you." "Uncle." DAJUN threw back a sentence, then continued to return to the bedroom. However, suddenly the phone rang. DAJUN picked up this uncle's phone to listen. From the other end of the line, the director's voice rang out. He asked his subordinates to report the situation, and instructed them to erase all traces after finishing the job. DAJUN. Hearing that, he just leisurely said, "You're the bastard behind everything, right?" The old director was extremely surprised by his subordinates, but could not handle the kids. He cursed DAJUN for being stubborn insects. Insects? Are you funny? Does a trash guy who makes money by exploiting the sweat and blood of girls like you have the right to call others insects? DAJUN's voice was faint, passed into the old director's ears. This old man heard that, then growled and said, "Your torn pecho is in my hand. If you push someone, you will push them until the end." The old director smiled triumphantly and said, "I have prepared many special fun games for DAJUN. I also swear, any prey that I bite, only when it dies will I release it. And you still haven't escaped my clutches. Bastard. DAJUN, I'm so hard right now, bro." After that, he hung up before the old director's extreme anger. Coldly letting the girl down, the old director ordered department head CHOI, "Take some of your disciples to solve this case immediately." It turns out that the head of this department is a foreign mercenary, working for the Manhwa gang. When he heard the CHOI department head ask about the price of this case, the X4 director raised his price and demanded that that bastard be thoroughly dealt with. Seeing the price quote, the X4 manager of CHOI immediately set out. However, this guy stepped in front of the girl. "Help her up, and tell her to go to the warehouse to get some medicine to apply." Then he blamed the director for not being so harsh on women. "Even killing must be gentle. We are polite gentlemen. After Chief CHOI left, a trusted junior asked the old director, "Is this price too good?" The old director doesn't know anything about his subordinate's name. This guy is a notorious human trafficker in the Philippines. Its brutality is on a completely different level. Murder is like a daily thing to him. Department head CHOI at this time, he pulled out his walkie-talkie. "Order a group of juniors to gather on the first floor. They will depart in 10 minutes. DAJUN is still sitting on the stairs. He quietly thought about the leader's previous threats. Dogyam suddenly appeared and asked DAJUN, "What about that phone call just now? What the hell have you gotten yourself into again?" Chief CHOI is currently dressing up, still praying to God about today in my head. He will send you pitiful sinners. Set up lost fields. I hope you will extend your gentle hands to receive and protect them. It seems like this mercenary, every time he commits a crime, he prays for his own goal, after being fully armed. Chief CHOI returned to the first floor, to join his juniors on their way to conquer. But who would have guessed it when we came down here? Then suddenly I saw my juniors singing the song, each in their own place. CHOI department head felt confused. Lower your head to check on a subordinate. What's left? One guy. DAJUN suddenly appeared behind manager CHOI. Then, as quick as lightning, he threw a punch at this guy. Even though the head of the department was able to hold it together. However, it was still thrown 10 meters away. I hate waiting. So come here now. Listen to what DAJUN said. The department head asked to guess who had just answered the phone. This is the name. Then you should be grateful, because I'm about to give you a chance to be saved. Department head CHOI stood up and slowly walked over. What a pity. Because I have come too far to receive salvation. DAJUN replied leisurely. After a while of talking about God, Chief CHOI rushed forward and threw a punch. DAJUN immediately dodged, and responded with a powerful kick. Then immediately rushed over while this guy was praising DAJUN for his good body. Immediately a powerful punch was thrown by DAJUN. Punched this CHOI department head's six-pack abs. Then take advantage of this guy flying 10 meters away. DAJUN rushed forward to give another blow right in the middle of the mouth. How can I pray like this? But suddenly, a red substance sprayed out right in front of DAJUN. A large gash on his hand was caused by Chief CHOI's strangely shaped knife. He said he would use the blood to baptize DAJUN before returning to the Father. I'll give you a chance, bring everything here. DAJUN didn't pay attention to his injured hand, staring at manager CHOI. This department head was talking about how God let him judge DAJUN. So this is the name of the head of the CHOI department. Was born in a not-so-nice place. The only way to avoid being massacred is to massacre. The circle leader was sold to an asshole by his own parents. Every day he was dragged out and beaten for entertainment by this guy. According to him, thanks to his eternal faith in God, he was able to overcome those terrible days. In the end, God gave him a mission. That is to save all the poor people from this sinful hell and bring them back to God. He thought he was doing a favor for the poor souls, which DAJUN is the next mission of department head CHOI. Later, he used a knife to injure DAJUN after rushing forward. DAJUN is simple to avoid. This knife leans forward. Department head CHOI stabbed the knife in his hand again, towards DAJUN, then unleashed his ultimate knife technique, repeatedly slashing the injured DAJUN. This guy uses Dao as fast as lightning. So right now DAJUN can only temporarily defend. Accidentally bumped into a junior. Daeyob suddenly lost his momentum and fell down. Sit on top of this junior. This is a golden opportunity. Chief CHOI rushed forward, raising the knife in his hand, intending to free this miserable soul. After stabbing hard with a knife, he discovered to his surprise. My knife was caught by a belt. DAJUN's stubbornness made it impossible for Chief CHOI to lower the knife. Right away, a kick from Thwan was thrown out. DAJUN trembled and immediately kicked Vang, head of department CHOI, away. Then he stood up, tugged at the belt in his hand and said, "If you want to play, swim here, uncle. Keep the knife in hand." Department head CHOI thought that this time, perhaps it was God who wanted to test him. Then he bit his lip and rushed forward, stabbing out a knife. But suddenly something knocked the knife away. DAJUN used the leather belt very skillfully. It's like a spirit snake wandering around in front of Chief CHOI. And immediately, DAJUN whipped his belt straight forward. Even though the CHOI department head used his hand to block it, but the head of the belt still follows inertia. Put straight into this guy's eyes. One blow was so strong that CHOI's department head was immediately stunned. He trembled angrily holding his injured eye, cursing DAJUN. Take the opportunity to secretly cut a knife. Then DAJUN put the belt around his hand. Then yanked the belt to one side. DAJUN threw a punch that pulled and punched like this, then department head CHOI was really at the end of his rope. It seems like you're a bit worried about giving me a favor or something. Is that right? Or let me give it to you. This bastard. Can't beat DAJUN. Department head CHOI turned his mouth and threatened DAJUN. Do you still think that place of yours is safe? Then defeating DAJUN is not the whole intention of these guys. Because it's outside the inn's door right now. The ManhwaCapped gang's protection group appeared. One guy wondered, is it necessary to kill those kids? The big brother immediately cursed him. Shut up. Because a lot of money is being spent on this case, according to him, when it comes to money. Then there is something called conscience. Department head CHOI added, the people sent there are all people living outside the law department. And the great war between the wolves and the sheep must be taking place right now. Hearing that, DAJUN didn't seem scared or worried about anything like department head CHOI imagined. He just said faintly, if you say so, I'm already reassured. Turns out this was also predicted by DAJUN in advance and told to Dogium. Then he said he would go and solve this problem. Dogium knows that it is impossible to stop this stubborn leader, so he can only smile and say, don't worry. Stay here for me. Sure enough, Dogium now appeared in front of the bouncers. He announced, currently, the inn is running out of rooms. So, dear guests, get the hell out of here. To save your eyes. This makes this group of rich security guards unable to believe their ears. The big brother told his disciples, count to 30 guys and then rush in. DAJUN is now confiding in the head of the CHOI department. About the place where this guy was born, then said, I also have a friend like you. He is a monster born from hell. Return to the inn. The big brother was now strangled by Dogium until he was shaking. Falling and flowing everywhere, not even having time to ask for forgiveness. A punch with very fancy tattoos. Slapped the boss of this bottom-class security group in the face. What are you planning to do with my brothers? Seeing this guy so broken, I'm sure he could have stabbed and slashed a few lives. How many lives have you killed? Dogium now takes off his shirt. Fold it up and put it aside to reveal your extremely cool tattoos. A little bit about Dogium's past, guys. His father at that time worked as a dump truck driver. Wow. My son, you're so grown up. I'm about to go to first grade, this bag is very suitable for my child. Even though he didn't have a mother, his father loved him very much, so the two of them lived a very happy life. Sorry son, I'm so busy, next time I'll let you go to the beach. But that evening, the news reported that at 10 p.m. today there had been a terrible accident. According to the investigation, the dump truck driver was Mr. Thick, 40 years old. This man left immediately after the accident. The victim died on the spot. Hurry up and pack your bags. Dogium. We have to leave now. The door opened, Dogium's father shouted in panic. And soon after in this harbor. His father told his son to stay on this boat and remember to hide well and sleep early. He cried and asked his father, why? He just smiled and apologized to his son. It seems like this guy should have turned himself in. Dogium screamed his father's name in desperation. The happy house suddenly turned into high waves and roaring sea. He cowered from the cold and fear, constantly calling for his father. He was only 7 years old at that time. The destination of this ship is a very strange land. And in that terrible place, he was almost killed. But luckily that person came. Returning to the inn, the juniors saw their big brother take a hit and were immediately frightened. Open your eyes. They were surprised. I don't believe this guy could be a minor. After that, this gang of ragged security guards pulled out their tools, because letting the kids go now is really rude. It must be taught carefully. All three of them rushed towards Dogium. He simply grabbed a guy's wrist, then reminded him of the past. That person taught him what fighting is really like. And thanks to that, he was able to survive in that hellish place. This guy has no idea what the fuck Dogium is talking about. He held the pole and rushed forward. A knife fight took place. However, its basic structure is too skewed. So this uncle immediately went to the board to count the numbers. In the place where I live, the guys who get killed are not as bad as you guys. Dogium rushed forward with a horizontal and vertical tongue-hone knife. Deal with the remaining guys. Do you know why I came back here? Big brother Bang Bao Ko has now woken up. He was so scared that he even urinated. Dogium immediately gave him a knife to trim his beard to make it neat. Finally, Dogium also fulfilled the previous promise with DAJUN. Currently in the old director's building. The battle between DAJUN and department head CHOI is still going on extremely fiercely. But this old man is still babbling about how DAJUN refused salvation. This will make the father angry. He rushed forward again and advised DAJUN to stop and accept his grace. DAJUN again used the leather belt to block the knife's path like before. Manager Choi just smiled and said, "If you use the same thing twice, then it's ruined." He pushed the knife aside, slashed DAJUN's palm, creating a rather large wound. He was very pleased that DAJUN had lost so much blood, so he could wash away his sins before returning to the priest. DAJUN really doesn't know what to say to this pious guy. Head of department CHOI rushed forward to free this young man from the ocean of worldly suffering. But unexpectedly, I stepped on a pool of blood, causing him to slip. At this time, the CHOI manager realized. It turned out that this kid deliberately backed away to lure me into rushing towards him. "I will ship you. Go back to your father now." DAJUN unleashed an extremely powerful shot. Chief CHOI should have gone home to see his father by now. Then DAJUN walked away again. It seemed like everything here wasn't over yet, right? Inside the building, DAJUN at this time, standing in front of a door. The old director was extremely disappointed in his juniors. The old man cursed. What a bunch of people who are not worth a penny. Then he picked up a fly and chatted about the fate of those damned insects. There is only one outcome. He held a fly above a carnivorous plant, then put it down. You brats look like this dirty thing, don't they? The old director carefully removed his watch and shirt. Next, he introduced himself as an expert in exterminating those dirty pests. DAJUN saw this old man take off his shirt to show off his muscles and said, "You're the one who caused trouble first." The governor smiled and said, "Now that matter is not important. I live in this abandoned house, and build everything from scratch. Previously, this old director did all the dirtiest jobs in this society, so that it can be grown. A beautiful flower garden like this. Here. I will destroy everything that dares to destroy my garden." The old director raised his neck and said. DAJUN at this time discovered on the ground. There is a familiar bunny-shaped bandage that I gave to the girl a few days ago. It turns out, you came here to find a broken whore. It's in the waiting room on the 3rd floor, very miserable, isn't it? How do you want to save it? Come get this, the old director was pleased. Hold out a bunch of keys. Seeing that, DAJUN coldly approached, while the old director was still talking about how DAJUN must have met May to defeat his disciples. And he's not fragile like them. DAJUN immediately threw a kick. Let's see if this old man is as strong as what he just said. Immediately, this old director flew more than 10 meters away, blending into the group of ornamental plants that he still pruned every day. I didn't come to talk to people like you. Every word that comes out of his mouth stinks like dog pump. DAJUN picked up the keys. After that, he planned to go rescue the girl. Suddenly the phone rang. DAJUN trembled and opened the phone to see. Seeing that it was a strange number, he still picked up the phone. Are you okay, DAJUN? A man's voice rang out from inside the phone. I was very disappointed when you left without saying goodbye. DAJUN immediately noticed. That was the voice of Ice Boss HEA KWANG, Shin Wuzhen. He actually called DAJUN. Are you planning on asking me out or something? So together we have finished the 3rd episode of SS2 so we can survive NHA. We are just getting our feet wet in a new land, but the DAJUN gang has already uprooted a professional prostitution organization. If this is the case, the police must immediately award a certificate of merit to this team of teenagers. We will watch together to see what the leader of the HEA KWANG gang will say to the leader of the DAJUN gang in the next story. An important announcement for your convenience. The next part 4 will be an extremely thrilling and exciting part, preparing to end the huge war between the DAJUN gang and the HEA KWANG gang. Finally, don't forget to support me more by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to the channel, okay? Thank you so much for watching all of this video. Now goodbye and see you again in part 4.